This is the 2025 Ram 1500 RHO, and I think it's badass. Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and unfortunately, I wasn't there to be there in person to see this truck, but I have the details for you. So let's check this thing out. The first big detail that stood out to me, and before we get to any more details, is the price point. This thing will start at $69,990 plus about $2,000 destination fee, so you're about $71,990. There'll be some different packages, probably put it in mid 80s by the time you fully load it up, but you can get one for 72,000 and some change. This puts it as about $8,000 less than the 4050 Raptor, less than the GMC Sierra 84X, less than the Tundra TRD Pro, and about the same price as the Chevy Silverado ZR2. Now, with everything getting more expensive, I was pretty darn impressed with that price point. What else is going on with this? It is not, first of all, it's not a direct replacement to the TRX. Ram is very adamant about this. If they bring the TRX back, it's going to be a standalone own thing. Now, the TRX, as you may recall, was a very similar looking version of this truck that you're seeing on the screen, but it was a supercharged 6.4 liter V8. And that engine produced a lot of emissions, which is part of Stellantis' new philosophy of reducing emissions. It got killed. Long way to say it. Stellantis killed that engine because they want to reduce emissions globally. And they're bringing this new Hurricane high output engine, which is really no surprise to anybody. This came out in the Wagoneer, and it's coming out in the tungsten high trim level and limited and above trim levels for the Ram 1500. And so this is a twin turbo inline six 3-liter engine, produces 540 horsepower and 521 pound-feet of torque. It's an inline cylinder engine, so it's inherently balanced, and it has a lot of low-end torque, which is really well off-roading like this, right? And so this is it's premium fuel only, which is the same as the TRX was. And so what we're having here is we're having not a direct replacement TRX, kind of like another offering, the RHO. We're going to call it RHO because it's kind of fun with animal. And so we have this high output turbocharged engine on the hood, made it to the same 8-speed transmission. Ram has said they're working on a new exhaust system to help it really sound more mean and throatier, which is what the TRX was really well known for, was that great exhaust note. Plus, it was pretty badass. Ram says it'll do 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.6 seconds, 0 to 100 in 11.7 seconds, a quarter mile in 13.1 seconds at 105 mile per hour, and top speed of 118 miles per hour, which is probably tire limited. It's in that case. Has a maximum payload of 1,520 pounds without all the options, maximum towing of 8,380 pounds, and can ford water up to 32 inches deep. And I say without the options and payload, there's going to be about 3 different packages. You can add like level 1, level 2, and then probably the level 2 semi-autonomous driving, which they call their hands-free driving on this little lower payload, and also increase the price. But you get cool features. Looking at the hood, you can see the Hurricane there. There is also a high flow air induction system that's going to be brought into this to help the turbos cool faster. You can see it with the opening there with the big air filter. That's going to help the turbos perform better at high temperatures, not overheat. On the rear, we're seeing the Ram badging like you see in the Rebel. We have front and rear steel bumpers. We have some marker lights. We'll see those more in a little bit when they come to a scene here, the scene change inside the studio. Those are 35-inch tires, a little rhino inside those tires. And we can see those marker lights. So we have premium LED lights. We have marker lights on the sides and the hood. Now, you don't need marker lights or within a vehicle that's supposed to be, I think it's over 80 inches wide, but they just look cool. I mean, usually they're for heavy duty things, but it just looks really cool. Ford Raptors got them, Ram TRX had them, Ram RHO has them. I think they're just badass. RHO, Tim. You can say these words. So we have the Ram logo there on the grill. It's a little bit changed. They changed front a little bit. We have big tow hooks on the front and rear in case, you send it a little bit too hard, you can get pulled out. So the suspension's been tuned for off-road driving. We have an independent front suspension. We use a Borg-Warner full-time active transfer case. We'll also make use of the same Bilstein Blackhawk E2 adaptive performance shocks and a Dana 60 rear axle that was found in the TRX. Jill and I visited Bilstein, and we had details from them as well. And oh, by the way, we had an interview with the chief engineer for the Ram Hurricane engine. We can find details again on this channel too. I'll link to those videos above. There's also some really cool things that Ram loves putting in press releases. So here we go. Dual electronic proportional valves that continuously adjust damping forces with a nitrogen-charged remote reservoir with a hot-formed zero-leak tube enclosure. It just sounds cool. Like all the Rams, is going to use a 5-link coil suspension. It'll ride on 35-inch tires, 11.8 inches ground clearance. The rear axle travel of 14 inches is 40% more than the rest of the Ram 1500 lineup. So yeah, it's really been improved as far as off-road performance. The exterior, I mean, you're looking at what I remember being a TRX. It looks about the same. They made some changes. They brought the Ram lettering a little bit differently. They've kind of widened and changed the headlights a little bit. There are premium LED headlights, and they've changed some of the overall design, but it's pretty darn close. I can't really say that I'm seeing one big difference over the other. I think if you see them next to each other, like a TRX versus a RHO, you'll see some of the details, but I think for the average consumer, it's going to look like the badass version of the TRX was, which is not a bad thing. The TRX was such a in-demand vehicle. They never could meet demand. They couldn't build enough of them, and just because it was so darn cool looking, it just is. There's also integrated 5-inch dual exhaust ports built in the bumper, and then we talked about those oversized toe hooks, and we talked about the marker lights as well. And let's go ahead and we'll get to the interior here, and I'll kind of fast forward this in this just a second. And I want to talk about this interior, so hold on a second. RHO 4x4. Okay, so here we go, the interior. And it's going to look pretty similar, right? So we have the 14.5-inch screen inside. This is going to be a touchscreen with Uconnect 5 system. It's one of the best systems out there. We have your transfer case gauges there, different drive modes and things, RHO badging inside the vehicle. This is a Napa, what do I say? A Napa Natura Plus interior, a 900-watt carbon carbon system, the RHO in the badge there, perforated suede seats. And then this is the coolest thing. I want to go back to this because this video goes a little bit too fast for my taste, but I'm going to go right there because I just think this is cool. So this is a VIN specific badge you get on the center console, and it doesn't actually stand up too much. It doesn't like cut your hands or anything. I've used different vehicles. TRX had this as well. We have the VIN number. You have what the engine is. You have where it was built at. You have what the turbocharger is. You have the horsepower, and then you have the Rhino and the RHO, the Rhino next to it on the badge. I just think it's a really cool touch. The Stellantis team does a great job in interior designs, and this is yet just another one that is pretty cool. So we have front bucket seats. We'll have rear bench seats. We're going to have the shifter there. This is a cool looking shifter. It's got like a cast metal grip on the sides, and then it's got leather over top of it. And we do the console shifter. You may recall in many Ram 1500 trucks, it's a dial shifter. When we move it over here, it's easier to use as far as putting in gear for off-roading and switching manual mode as well. But it's also, if you don't want to use that, there's aluminum paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. So you kind of have some choices off-roading what you want to do. We're also going to look to your right. You have that 10.25-inch passenger screen. You can do, what you can do, you can check out the navigation over there. You can check out some music. You can plug in and listen to watch your own movie. That is not distracting to the driver. The driver actually can't see that screen at all. You would think that driver can just look over and see it, but the way it's angled and the coating on it, you really can't see that screen at all. So that is built in right there too. It's above the glove box. I talked about that 900-watt Harman Kardon system. There is a full color heads-up display, and yeah, you can sit back, jam out your tunes, let the truck drive you, get to the dirt, and then you can take control and go have some fun. There's also a dual wireless charger for your phones that has a holder in it. It's really nice. They don't slide around like some other brands do. Auto full drive. We do have the awesome launch mode. If you have never launched a full-size truck, you're missing out. It's probably the coolest thing I've ever done is launching it. It's going to be built in Sterling Heights, Michigan. Should arrive in the third quarter of 2024, and order banks are open now. You can go to dealer and place your order. So what do you guys think? I'm looking at my web story on pickuptrucktalk.com. So the Ford F-150 Raptor with destination, these are all destination fees included, is $80,970. GMC Sierra AT4X, $81,195. Toyota Tundra TRD Pro is $73,980. Chevy Silverado 1500 ZR2 a similar price point of $71,980. They're all about the same. They all include destination fees. I like what Ram did here. We can't have the supercharged V8 anymore. We know that. Ram can't build it. The brand Stellantis doesn't want to build it. They want to cut emissions. They want to get rid of that engine. They want to have more of a high output 3-liter inline 6 Hurricane engine. That's what they want to put out because that's what they are doing with their plan moving forward. So we can't have that. So we have this instead. I like the fact that the price points come down. I like the fact that the looks are about the same. The capability is still there. I was pretty blown away by this. I want to see if you guys are blown away too. And that's just maybe, I know people are gonna be like, oh, still $70,000, Tim. But from my viewpoint, it's not $100,000. Things these days have all seemed like it's $100,000 for everything. And so I'm excited to see $70,000 and a price point that I feel like is better, especially in recent days. We've seen some mid-sized trucks really creep up there in price. There you go. There's the details on the 2025 Ram 200 RHO. I'll have some more details. They have a whole like off-road truck offering. Some more details tomorrow or Friday when I get home. Get those details out to you guys because I think they have a really exciting lineup going forward for their products. So again, pre-comes down below. Check out the website as well. Pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.